Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel and welcome to my mid-year low-buy check-in. I do these every month, but this one is special because it's June has ended. We are in the second half of the year and I thought it was a good moment to touch base, take a look at actually how much I spent so far. Am I on track with my low-buy? What were my goals or my rules? How am I doing with that? Am I gonna be able to keep to it, or should I modify them and give myself some space for other things? So let's start with how June went. I have here on my phone my usual Excel sheet. On here I track all my purchases, all my empties and their value, and then all of the money that comes in from YouTube. I discussed this in a previous video, and whatever income or empties I have from YouTube do not change my budget for this year. For the whole 2020, I gave myself 2,000 euros to spend on makeup. Last year it was 2,400 euros, and I said, well, let's keep it a little bit less. And I said makeup, but I meant beauty. It includes skincare and makeup and nails. I do not include here lots of hair products, as in a shampoo and a conditioner that I need will not be in here. But if I buy extra styling products because I want to try them, because of things like that, they will go in this budget because they're not essentials. So I should not be spending that money, or I should spend it within my budget. Together with that, I set myself a few rules, guidelines, I want to say, and that includes one tinted moisturizer for this year. I already bought that. It's the Origins Ginseng. I wanted to buy the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer, to be honest, but it's so difficult to get a hand on and it's much more expensive, and I refuse to buy makeup full price because there's sales all the time. Either on Cool Beauty, there's a 15-20% off, or on Douglas here in the Netherlands, there's always a 25% off night. So I, in the end, refused to go and buy it full price. So I lost a moment and I bought the ginseng instead. No highlighters, and that actually didn't work out. I bought the Nabla, this guy right here, Nabla Lucent Jungle. This isn't per se a highlighter for me. As you can see, it's quite dark, but I use it as a highlighter because if you shear it out, it's actually semi-translucent. Oh, I actually had swatched something else on this hand, but it works on my skin tone. You've seen it in action, both on my Instagram as well as on my channel. So there I wasn't supposed to buy any more highlighters, but I bought one more, which is this one right here. No concealers, that's fine. No foundations, that's going great. And I am actually not having any temptation whatsoever for foundations. I mean, I have so many that I barely finish. I really don't have any temptation. No powders, and that is also going well because it's taking me forever with my Project Pan to finish the powders that I have, that I'm really not even tempted to buy a new powder. No primers, and that's because I just don't use them. So I'm actually struggling to get through all of the ones that I have that I wore gifts with purchase or gifts, and yeah, no primers. One bronzer, and that went for the new Nabla one. I have it here on my desk. This guy right here that I showed you in my recent trying new makeup video, and I'm gonna get around to review as well. But the idea of that one bronzer was that I was gonna buy the Milk Baked Cream bronzer, the stick, and I'm still planning on buying that. So I'm gonna end up with two bronzers this year. Not ideal. No brow products, and that is still correct because I bought my replacement or my backup Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel with Black Friday because it was on sale, and I think at least, and that was last year. So this year I do not need new brow products, and I already have my my yearly, let's say, brow gel that I know I go through. So these were my rules. Let's go to the money. The amount that I spent in the first half of the year is 920 euros. 918.61 if you want to know exactly, but around 920 euros. This brings me 80 euros under my goal for this first half year, and I'm very happy with that, and it makes sense because I haven't had issues with staying within the budget or overspending compared to my budget. You can definitely argue that some things that I bought I didn't need, and actually there's one or two things that I actually did regret buying. See, for example, the by Terry CC brightening powder palette, that's the name, with the 4 face powders. I am already trying to sell it on my Instagram because it's just too glowy for me. It was not necessary. I already have the Hourglass Ghost palette from last year that I love. I really didn't need it. So there have been some mistakes made by me in this in these 6 months on things that I've bought, but overall I haven't been overspending. We discussed last month at the end of May how that was the most expensive month of the whole first semester of the year. Then I spent 220 euros, and that was more than my budget, and that was all because I bought the gold palette by Natasha Denona. One Natasha Denona palette kind of throws out your whole budget in the end, and that's okay. It still fits in my budget, and I need to make peace with that in my heart, in my soul, that I'm still in my budget. I'm okay with buying even a little bit more expensive pieces as long as I don't buy a lot of other things, which is good. And overall, I've been spending around 110, 120, 130 euros a month, except for the months in which I bought indeed these Natasha Denona palettes. So Metropolis in January brought me to 210, and Gold in May brought me to 220. Overall, I think, I'm happy of the way it's going. I feel like last year's roller coaster of a low buy, of a beauty budget, was really useful for me to just restrain myself a little bit and feel bad enough to reduce my spending, but also to reduce my wishes. Like I'm not excited about everything that comes out, or at least I'm excited and then I let it sit. I dupe every palette now that I feel like I want to buy. Whether that is a good or bad thing, usually it's a good thing. Sometimes it's bad because it just makes me want that palette more. That happened with Gold. But for example, duping the Melt Rust palette really helped me understand that I have those shades and I don't need them. And in the end, I even forgot about that palette, and I'm not even tempted anymore. So I'm happy of the place that I'm at right now mentally, that allows me to buy what I want without going over my goals. And of course, we'll see how the rest of the year goes. There's still Black Friday coming up. But yeah, I feel like I'm much less into buying all the new things and much more into enjoying what I have and enjoying maybe a little bit more expensive things, but less of them. And I am happy about that. Looking at this month of June, in which we didn't really talk about it yet, and in which I don't really have a lot of items in my hands to show you, you've seen me already try out the new Nabla Cosmetics Miami Lights collection. So from that collection, I purchased the bronzer, as I just showed you, this guy right here, and the 2 blushes, Independence and Lola. And you can see them right here a little bit. Again, I cannot show you like this because it's too reflective, but you can see them right here. It's a more of a nude and a bit of a coral. And you can see them in action in my latest trying new makeup video. And then I bought 2 glosses. I bought RSVP, this bronzy one, and Stardust Radio, which is this red toned, it's a bit of a red coral with some gold glitter. Maybe I'll apply some. I love this lipstick, by the way. I filmed this video. This is my full face of old favorites. You'll see it coming soon. And I'm loving this formula of Nabla glosses. Really, really nice. But I'm gonna get to a review of these, I think, once I am really sure about what I think of the powders, especially because it's not as obvious as my love for the old release of Skin Glazing. These are a little bit more to think about. At least I have to figure out how I feel about them. Another thing that I purchased is I made an order from Lethal Cosmetics. They released a new collection and it's stuck somewhere in the mail. I don't know. It's with PostNL now for a week at least, so it cannot be that far off, but it's not with me, so that's there. My Tami Tanuka order from May is also, it looks like it's stuck in The Hague, which also, how long does it take from The Hague to here? It's an hour drive, people. Come on. So yeah. And another item I bought this month was a top coat for my nails. Finally, I really needed it. All of my old ones were so goopy and old, and I tried to finish them. There was very little left, but it was taking so much time, and I had all these filaments on my nails afterwards that I decided to buy a new one, and I have. And that was €8. Sounds great. So overall, the month of June went well. I was within my budget. I didn't buy the Natasha Denona bronze palette again. And I already made a purchase for July. But we are going to talk about that next month. And we are also going to talk about how my holiday is gonna go. I am going to Italy, as I mentioned in that trying new makeup video. And there's Sephora there, which includes Fenty and Natasha Denona and much more, but those are the 2 brands that are mainly interesting to me. I also would like to try and drop by a Sephora Germany to get the Milk Bronzer, because that's the only place in Europe that I can find it. Unfortunately, Sephora France, which ships to me, doesn't have it. Sephora Italy, where I'm gonna be in person, doesn't have it. So the only place in Europe that I found it is at Sephora Germany, but of course it's closed on Sundays. And when am I traveling through Germany? On a Sunday. So maybe on the way back. We will see, but you'll see, or you will see it also in my next low buy check-in or haul. Probably I'll do a haul if I have a lot of things, and hopefully my packages will arrive before I leave. So at least they don't go back to the sender, because that would blow my mind. That would blow my mind. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope these videos are still useful for you. How are your low buys or no buys doing? Who's on a no buy? Are you still going strong half a year in? When is your goal end date? Are you going for the whole year? I'm very curious to hear how things are going and how your psychological status around it is. Did you try a no buy, for example, and you didn't manage because it was too restrictive? Are you going to try something else in the next 6 months? Trying to, I don't know, regroup. I feel like the beginning of July is a little bit like a New Year's, a good place to see how the first 6 months went and make new goals. And of course, there's more important things in life and other things that are happening in the world, but we're here to distract ourselves, talk about pretty things, and yeah, just dive into our hobby, right? Thank you again for watching again, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I try to do videos every 3 times a week, maybe 2 if I don't manage, but we're always here talking about beauty and skincare and makeup and pretty things. Anyways, thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!